Yes, guys, today in this session, I'm gonna explain you about types of cough. Here we have two types of cough, that is non-productive and productive cough. You can see cough, it is of so many types, but mainly it is explained as non-productive and productive cough. Okay, first we'll see about this non-productive cough. Non-productive cough, it is also called as dry cough. Why it is called dry cough? Means first you should know what is cough is a forceful expulsion of air from your lungs. So when anything which is forcefully uh, expelled out from your lung, then there is a irritation. It will cause some irritation to your tracheal tissue. So this irritation will give so much of discomfort to to the patient, that is it increases the patient's discomfort. So hence the non-productive cough is also called as dry cough, and it increases the patient discomfort. So now in this treatment, to treat this non-productive or dry cough, we need to mainly focus on three things, that is the frequency, intensity and excessive secretion. Here coming to frequency, what is frequency? Means it is episodes. We have to decrease the number of episodes, that is reoccurrence of the cough. Next coming to intensity of the cough, that is we have to decrease, as well as we have to decrease the pain which is produced from cough. Okay, we have to decrease the reoccurrence and also the pain which is produced from the cough. And the third one is excessive secretions. Already in dry cough I told that the epithelial tissue is irritated, and if in case what drugs we are using, those will expel out more secretions from our respiratory tract, which will keep our respiratory tract moist, then it will become still more irritating. So now what we have to do is we have to decrease the secretions of respiratory tract from which are going to expel out, that is we have to decrease the expulsion of the respiratory secretions, that is basal secretory cell secretion. So on the whole, in order to maintain these three things, that is decrease of frequency, decrease of intensity and excessive secretions from the respiratory tract, we are using one class of drugs ultimately, that is antitussives. Now what this antitussives does is, for example, this is the cough center you think, and this is a respiratory tract. So yes, now the impulses from here will go, the nerves will carry the impulses from respiratory tract to the cuff center, and from cuff center to the respiratory tract. Now these are called as afferent from tissue to the center, that is brain's cuff center, and from brain cuff center to the tissue they are called as efferent reflexes. Now here what these antitussives do is they increase the threshold at this cuff center, and they block these impulses. Okay, they block these impulses. This is a MOA of the MOA, that is method of action of the antitussive. So ultimately they will reduce the cough, and they decrease the discomfort which is caused for the patient due to dry cough. Now next coming to productive cough. Productive cough is otherwise called as a wet cough. Why wet cough? I'll say here. I told you in dry cough there is an excessive expulsion of forceful expulsion of the air. In wet cough, what it is, because along with the air there is also the excessive expulsion of some sputum, thick mucus called as a sputum. Okay, now this sputum is also seen in chronic bronchitis and bronchiectasis. This is the respiratory tract diseases. And now coming to the its treatment, I told you that there is a presence of some mucus in the respiratory tract. So now this mucus is very thick, right? Now something which is thick, it has a lot of friction means it will not move further. So hence in order to treat this, we have to decrease the friction means we have to decrease the viscosity and increase the volume. Okay, we have to decrease the viscosity and increase the volume. Now in this wet cuff, what we are doing is we are increasing the volume of this, that is we are making the this thick mucus to the watery mucus, and by this we are ultimately decreasing the viscosity and ultimately decreasing the friction, which will help in easy removal of the sputum from the respiratory tract. So now in order to achieve these functions, that is increasing the volume and decreasing the viscosity, we are using a class of drugs called as expectorants. Now what are these expectorants? Expectorants are the class of drugs which will either increase or decrease the viscosity or volume of the sputum or the respiratory tract secretions. Okay, this is all about the productive and non-productive cough. And now coming to another type of classification, like based on the occurrence or based on the number of days the cough persists, it is again divided into acute, subacute and chronic. Here acute, which lasts for 3 weeks or less than 3 weeks, and subacute, which lasts for more than 3 weeks or in between 3 to 8 weeks, and coming to chronic, it lasts for more than 8 weeks. Now this is all about types of cough. Now we'll okay, sorry. Now we'll deal with classification of classification classification of drugs. Yes, now coming to classification, we have three types of classifications. Actually, we have only two types, that is peripherally and centrally, but some class of drugs which acts as both peripheral and centrally, and they are again separated into another class, that is peripheral plus centrally acting. So yes, coming to classifications in peripheral acting we again have pharyngeal demulcents and expectorants, and again expectorants are subdivided into mucokinetics and mucolytics. Then coming to centrally acting and peripheral acting, now if you see this, there is only one class of drugs, that is ultimately the antitussives, which acts as both centrally and central plus peripherally acting. So here in again central, it is subdivided into subclasses. These are addicting and non-addicting, and again in addicting we have potent, less potent, and again in non-addicting we have opioid and non-opioid derivatives. So yeah, now let's check out what are the drugs. Now let's check out what are the drugs present in these classes. Yes, I told you there are three classes, that is peripherally, centrally and central plus peripherally acting. Now they are again divided into subclasses. So let's see what are the drugs we have present. So overall we have 39 drugs present in these overall central, peripheral and central plus peripherally classification of drugs. So yes, you need to remember these 39 classification of the drugs, and also some important MOA I'll be discussing in later in this session. So yeah, now let's get into this. We have 6 class of drugs in pharyngeal demulcents. So first we'll see peripherally acting. In that we have first pharyngeal demulcents. So in that we have 6 types of drugs, that is pronoxdiazine, glycerin, licorice, lozenges, linctus, and honey. So in this video, I'll also give some tips like how to remember these drugs. Okay, because it is very hard coming to the pharmacology. It is very hard to remember the drugs because there are so many drugs in each of the disease. So I'll give some hints or some tips like how to remember. So coming to pharyngeal demulcents, it starts with P. Yes. So now you also remember that the class of drugs, the types of drugs also will start with P. Okay, P, G, triple L. We have 3: licorice, lozenges, linctus. So we can remember this as L cube, right? P, G, L cube, H. Remember this for pharyngeal demulcents: pronoxdiazine, glycerin, licorice, lozenges, linctus, and honey. So overall we have 6. Next, coming to expectorants. In expectorants we have mucokinetics and mucolytics. In mucokinetics we have 7 drugs, and mucolytics we have 6, again 6 drugs. Okay, in mucokinetics is nothing but moving. So let's remember all our drugs in the mucokinetics are moving. This is a type, like I remember my pharmacology classification, so I'm sharing this tip with you also so that you can easily remember. Okay, the first one is ammonium chloride. My ammonium chloride is watery. I'm imagining that So it is easy to remember in that way. So my ammonium chloride, sodium citrate, potassium iodide, volatile oils, guanfacine, ipecacuanha and guaiacol. Next coming to mucolytics. Mucolytics you remember like this. We have two brome things and two cysteine things and one Dornase and one Vasaka. So total 6 we have. We have Vasaka, bromhexine, ambroxol, Dornase alpha, acetylcysteine, carbocysteine. Next coming to centrally acting, we have only one classification of drugs, that is antitussives, in that addicting, potent and less potent. So antitussives generally we are using is opioids. Okay, opioids are the alkaloids. Now here opioids means we have only few, like only the important one we are using in this. It is easy to remember this opioid drugs. So in potent, so potent is nothing but we are which are in less doses, like in less doses they show more effect. It should be like it has more pharmacological effect even in minute concentrations. Okay, we have morphine, dihydromorphine is a, again it's a derivative of this morphine. Next coming to less potent, we have codeine and falcodeine. And next coming to non-addicting, we have 4 drugs, that is dextromethorphan, nascopan, morphine and ethyl morphine. These are opioid derivatives. And next one is non-opioid derivatives, means remember that none of the opioids come in this class. So other than opioids we are adding in this, that is diphenhydramine, benzonatate, trifluridine, pepanthenone, olexedin, sorry, oxyledin and clofendiol. Now coming to central plus peripheral, we have only one drug, that is benzonatate. And apart from these all types of classification, we use other adjuvants, like we use other combination drugs with these main class of drugs. Those are antihistamines and bronchodilators. So what are the antihistamines is chlorpheniramine, diphenhydramine, promethazine. And coming to bronchodilators, we have only two. Like we have so many bronchodilators, but we are using only two. This is salbutamol and terbutaline in this. So we have ultimately the 1, 2, 3, or like only 3 classes. Like we have so many drugs, but the main 3 classes of drugs which are used in cough, that is pharyngeal demulcents, expectorants and antitussives. And the combination or the adjuvant drugs what we are using is antihistamines and bronchodilators. Okay, overall we have 39 drugs. Remember this easily. Now we'll see some of the method of action of these drugs.